Hello, everybody. Well, I was watching the Nintendo Direct and I heard a familiar jingle that was a music tone from Super Mario RPG. So I wanted to quickly shoot a reaction video to see what the hype behind the tune was all about. So here we go. Okay, so I'm super excited for this. Super Mario RPG was one of the first RPGs that I ever played that got me into the RPG genre. If it wasn't for Super Mario RPG, I wouldn't be interested in Final Fantasy 4 and 6 or whatever numbers you would like to dub them as. It was 2 and 4 in the West and 4 and 6 elsewhere. But anyways, Super Mario RPG was just a big game for me growing up. I rented it constantly from the video store, and one time when I was sick, actually, my mother actually bartered with the clerk at the video store and bought me the store copy of Super Mario RPG. Even has the old beat up manual and the cartridge. This sucker I will never sell. But I cannot wait for November 17th to get here. The fact that I will now have the original version and a new version of Treasured Childhood game, I cannot wait till November 17th. Let's just come back through. I just want to come back through this real quick and just see what characters are there. So obviously we have the main 5 party members in Peach, Mario, Bowser, Mallow, and Geno. I like how they kept the opening scene of, Peach picking flowers, and when she's in trouble, Mario bursts out of his little clubhouse to go save her. Yep, gotta have that big title, Super Mario RPG. Yeah. They keep the isometric angle, which is good. That was kind of part of its charm. Now, seeing that treasure box, I'm wondering if they're going to keep the hidden treasure boxes that you have in the original. In the original, there was 37 or 39. I don't remember the magic number, but there was 30 hidden chests throughout the game that you could find along the way. I even still have my old cheat sheet of where they're located. Maybe I'll do a stream on this game in the future. Let's see, what else do we have here? Ah, yes, this is the forest where you meet Geno for the first time when he's trying to find the star pieces. I just love the look of this. It's a new coat of paint. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe this remake will sell gangbusters and maybe we'll get a proper sequel that isn't, you know, Mario and Luigi spin-off titles, which nothing against those. I like those games too. I mean, Bowser's Inside Story, Dream Team, Superstar Saga, those are some of my favorite Nintendo RPGs as well, but there's just a special place in my heart for Super Mario RPG. I wonder if they're going to keep the hidden Culex fight from Final Fantasy II in this too. That'll just be awesome. I'll just be looking forward to seeing this when it drops. I'm torn between this game and Spider-Man 2 this fall, and seeing this trailer, it's going to make me run out for this one. Yes, they kept those lovely annoying ant enemies. Hate them. Unless you know Gino's Whirl technique, the one that if you do the time hit with the right, it deals 9999 damage. So when you have to fight these little pain in the asses in the desert later on, knowing that Whirl technique and timing Gino's Whirl move right will make the desert section much easier. Just make sure to stock up on plenty of magic stuff. What else do we have here? It's just gonna feel like old times, the way they have like the water, you know, kind of all sectioned off. They kept the look and the feel of this trailer. I'm loving it. The vines. I do like Nimbus Land and the way to get there. I just hope these vines are much easier than in the SNES version. Because again, I love the game. There's just certain parts that are annoying, and for me, trying to get the hidden items when you're doing this vine climbing section in the game was a pain in the ass. And I also wonder if they're going to keep the hidden lazy shell armor and weaponry. It's like, I'm hoping that if this is, you know, obviously, this is a port here, but, you know, it's a port and a remake. I just hope they didn't alter anything. Like, all Super Mario RPG for SNES needed was a fresh coat of paint. It didn't need any story tweaking or any... It didn't need any of them... It doesn't need any of our modern conveniences. I just enjoy the look of this. What else do we have here? Playing around in the pipes. I remember this one. It's On Your Way to Yoster's Isle. And you're burning Mario's ass. Crybaby Mallow. Gino. Bowser, yes. This was one of my favorite scenes in the SNES version where Mario was trying to get into Booster Tower and, you know, obviously he's stumped because he doesn't know how to get in there, and Bowser's just like, yeah, I'm gonna bust this shit up, and backs in and knocks Booster's door over. And yes, Peach, I think I saw a scene near the end with her frying pan. That's a hidden weapon in the game that if you wait long enough, I forgot how far in the game you have to be, but, you know, you have to progress quite a ways in the game, and then Princess Peach's frying pan weapon is like her best weapon in the game. And right now they're in the forest. The Easter egg for... This was the game's Easter egg for Donkey Kong right here. What else do we got here? I'll be curious about the stuff on the side over here. This 3-chain... I mean, I'm sure there'll be tutorials in the game on how it works between this 43% thing on the side, the chain. I'll just be curious how that works in the game. Again, I love this game, so I just hope they didn't change too much. And yes, the Dream Team right here. Yes, so after you unlock Toadstool for your... Oh, they renamed her Peach. In the SNES version, she was Toadstool. She was always referenced as Toadstool, so I guess in this, I'm just seeing on the bottom here that, you know, they have her name as Peach, so I guess they're just going to rename her. But anyways, this was the Dream Team setup, was Mario, Bowser, and Peach, because, you know, Mario and Bowser were your heavy hitters, and Peach was your healer. And if you have Peach equipped with the Lazy Shell armor, any hit she takes is dealt to 1, which I love that. And then Mario has the Lazy Shell weapon, which does insane amounts of damage. What else do we got here? Birdo. This was an interesting fight, as you really don't do much fighting against Birdo herself if you play your cards right, because one of the things that I overlooked growing up, but then as I played it growing up, was, you know, one of the attendants on the way in to the castle to meet Birdo says if you hold your arms up, you know, you block her eggs when she shoots them at you, which growing up at the time I overlooked it, and I just went in guns blazing and just attacked the shell till nothing. But then a couple years later, I learned about, you know, if you do defense and she shoots the eggs, they'll bounce off, and then you attack the eggs and they blow up on her. It was an interesting fight. Yeah, Birdo, blah, blah. Yardovich! Yes, I like... This was another favorite fight. The team you want to take in to fight Yardovich is... Mario always has to be part of the team, so you know you obviously have Mario. I took Malo because Yardovich is weak against electric attacks, and then of course my heavy hitter Bowser. So I took those three in and made short work of Yardovich. More Yardovich. Yes, I am curious about some of the magic attack effects that they're going to have in this, because you had your flame stuff that was used by the pogo stick creatures, I forget their names, but they used fire. Yardovich used water and electricity. I'll just be curious to see what Smithy looks like when this comes out. What else do we have? Ah, yes, Smilax. This was a mini boss in the forest that you fight on the way to Nimbus Land. So as you're, you know, you go to Land's End, and then you battle through. You battle through. One of Valentina's. Well, you don't fight Valentina's goons, but one of her goons is just out and about gardening, and this boss fight, he always refreshes Smilax after you beat out so many hit points out of him, and then this is Smilax's final form with the big piranha head in the back and the two small ones on the side, but at this phase of the fight, when he's at his strongest, is when he unleashes pain-in-the-ass magic attacks. Yeah, this looks good. Oh, yeah, and I forgot what this character's... Oh, I can't block. But this is the one that has the fire elemental. He's one of the first bosses you fight in the game to get a star piece. I just love the look of this. Ah, yes. Knife Guy and Great Guy. So you fight them, and then they have some hidden stuff in the game later on. You can go to Great Guy's Casino, which I wonder if they're going to revamp that at all. They had what was called Look the Other Way, which if you beat Look the Other Way so many times, you got a special item. And to get to Great Guy Casino, you have to go back through Booster Tower and go to his brother. I mix up which one's which, but there's Great Guy and Knife Guy. But you talk to one in Booster Tower, you have to play the ball game where you have to chase the yellow ball that he juggles and pick which hand the ball is in. And you have to win that so many times to get a bright card to go to the Great Guy Casino. Bet this will be awesome. Yeah, and so at the end of Nimbus Land, you meet these two throughout going through the castle to try and chase down this woman here, Valentina, if I remember correct, and her assistant Dodo, who at the beginning of Nimbus Land, I like the little mini game you play where you're painted up as a statue and you have to dodge him pecking you. Now, the one thing I'm going to laugh my ass off at, if they keep it in this remake, is in the original SNES version, you hit her and her boobs just bounce crazily. It was just something I remember having a Beavis and Butthead laughing my ass off moment as a kid. Was in the SNES one, you hit her, her boobs juggle, and it was just, I don't know why I thought it was so funny at the time. Hormone-crazed teenager thoughts. And then, of course, Dodo. who, and partway through this fight here, Dodo will pick one person at random. He tends to go, like, I've never, in the times I've played, he's never picked Mario, and I can never pick which one he always picks of these two, but he'll always pick either the middle person or the one on the right, and you have to do a one-on-one fight with him, so keep, you know, a good amount of healing items with you, because you'll need them. And this is Boyer. This is the second Star Piece boss fight. And actually, I steal and still use one of his catchphrases going around today, which is "Nya." I strike you with an arrow, "Nya." And then, of course, the gimmick for his fight is after you deal him enough damage near the middle of the battlefield, he brings out the buttons to your controller, and when he shoots an arrow at the button, it's locked and you can't use it. So, like, he can either lock your items out for a turn, he can lock your attacks out for a turn, he can lock your magic out for a turn, and he can lock your defense for a turn. But, you know, as you beat his ass, I mean, when you face him in his first form here, when you face him the first time, he's smarter. He'll lock the buttons that are dealing him the most damage. But then, spoiler alert, when you go through Smithy's castle and you fight the clone versions of him, they're not so smart. Let's see, what else we got? So that's Boyer. Mac. Mac was the name of the sword fight for the first start piece. Mac. And here we have the big bad. Well, this isn't the big bad. This is just his vehicle of choice. It's a giant. The final boss of the game is called Smithy, that you fight for the final star piece. And I forget what the name of the sword is, but the boss fight for him is you attack his eyes and his mouth. And the only way to deal damage to the mouth is you have to take out both of his eyes as you fight him. Let's see, that's just filler shots. Gino on the Rainbow Road. Bowser, yes, I always loved unlocking him to play as the game went on. Like, I would just grind and play until I could at least get Bowser in my party, because having Bowser in the party just made things so much easier. Now, I'm not sure what's going on here. Mario's giant and Peach is small. I'm hoping that they didn't tweak anything too hard. Like, maybe, hopefully, this is a cutscene in a battle or something, but just never at any point in the original do you grow giant and smash stuff. Like, if they made this as like a cutscene or a dream scene, fine, but the attacks and abilities that are in the game, the original game as is fine. But I'm just excited to see this game. What else do we have here? Yes, this looks good. So, I know there's one main sewer section, which... Actually, there's a couple sewer sections. One that leads to Yoster's Isle, where you meet Yoshi. Crap, I can't remember them off the top of my head. What else do we have? And then this is a... This is just a mini cutscene as you... I'm trying to think. So you're... crap, my memory is fading me. If I remember right, you get washed down. It's a mini game that you get to play where you have to collect coins and such. The Midas River Challenge, that's it. Midas River Challenge. And as you progress through it, you get this little mini cutscene here of just all sorts of characters dancing around you as you float down the river. In a van down by the river. And here's another mini game. After you... The third star piece boss fight. Again, I'll forget full names until I play. But anyways, after you beat that boss, then you get to go on a minecart ride with two of the kids that the town sent you into the caves to rescue. It was a fun cart ride. I'm curious what they'll do to that. But I won't spoil what happens at the end of this cart ride here. And then, of course, Mario imitating Bowser. It's like, Seeing Mario act like a T-1000, mimicking anything he touches, in this case, telling Bowser's part of the story, or Bowser's role in what's going on. And then, of course, he growls like Bowser and scares everybody away. It's like, I'm curious if they'll actually have full dialogue spoken parts in this, or if they're going to have the text boxes like they did in the original. I mean, it would be... I mean, I wouldn't mind hearing them have voice, but we'll see. Ah, Tadpole Pond! Yes. Again, I still kept my handy-dandy, homemade, handwritten cheat book from years past, but throughout the game you get melodies. There's only 3 melodies. One's a hidden one in Monstro Town that's about 3/4 of the way through the game. Another melody is in Mole Town, where the 3rd star piece is. Mole Town, sorry. Where the 3rd star piece is. And then the first one... the first melody, I think, is in Tadpole Bay itself, if I remember correctly. I don't remember, but anyways, this is a fun mini game where you get to learn musical notes and structure while making melodies for the great Tolslavsky. And then after you give the 3 melodies to Tolslavsky, then you get to make your own homemade melody to finish his piece. Yoshi's Isle. This will be my wife's favorite section because she loves Yoshi. I just hope that they make the race against that blue Yoshi Boshi much easier, because I could never seem to mash buttons fast enough and in rhythm enough to beat... I mean, I beat the races eventually. It just took me 101 tries. But this is a section my wife will love. Mrs. Koopa. What else do we got? This was another fun game in Booster Tower. So when you get to the top, before you face Great Guy and Knife Guy, you have to go through this mini game because Booster is trying to replicate a wedding scene, and he's trying to prepare for Mario's inevitable crashing of the party, and he wants to find his Mario doll. Well, Mario doll is up top here, and his Sniffets are always looking behind the curtains instead of looking up, and so you have to hide behind the right curtain so that they don't find you until the very end, where this is at the end of the mini game because Mario is under his doll. So at the end of the game, you just jump and bounce the doll down to Booster, and everybody's happy. And then after you beat Great Guy and Knife Guy, you then have to race him up on Booster's Pass to get to the wedding town, Marrymore. This is just them on Vista Peak. It's like, I'm assuming this is just in the SNES version, Vista Peak is just where you can go to peek at the... Essentially, it's just a small cutscene where it's a gap that you see between the cliff there and the castle. It's kind of an, oh, we can't get there yet cutscene moment. And that's them sending... I'm assuming this is the cutscene that will play between... Like, every time you got a star piece, there is a little mini cinematic of, you and your party taking the star and sending it up to the Star Road. So this is probably just the cutscene for that. I'm curious what they'll do with the music, because the music, for when you send it up, it's nice, it's touching. So I'm just curious if they'll keep that or if they'll, tweak it a little or freshen it up. And there's all 5 of your party members. Mario you start off with. Mallow you get once you get to the Mushroom Kingdom. Then Geno you get in the forest. Bowser you get at Booster Tower. And then Peach you get it after you rescue her from the Marrymore situation. Okay, and then this is just the release date. So yes, November 17th. It cannot come here soon enough. Again, maybe I will play this at some point in the near future, but for now, this is Grim Koopa signing off, and November 17th cannot get here soon enough.